I'm so glad he's back. It gives me something besides the doomed hospital and the Department of Education to talk about. Ladies and gentlemen, the one good thing about the government of Guam, and that is the Guam Visitors Bureau. Incredible people that work there, led by former Governor Carl T.C. Guiterrez.
Bring back the sunshine. Bring back that sunshine. He's bringing back that sunshine. Uncle Carl Guiterrez brings it every time.
Thank God you're back, Gov. Welcome home.
Thank you, Ray. I'm glad I'm home, too.
Have you been on Guam any time since September 1?
Hardly. I just came in yesterday, I believe, or the day before. I forget.
Yeah, it's like that. Whirlwind travel. We'll talk about some of the big news that is coming to the region with United. But tell me a little bit about the trip report. Where'd you been? Who'd you meet? What'd you do?
Well, first of all, the people of Guam, I guess, through the experience of Hannah and Rich and bringing her children to Hokkaido last February, a lot of people in Guam really want to go to Hokkaido and, witness the snow during Christmas. And a lot of the people from Hokkaido want to come to a paradise like Guam, sunny Guam.
Because it's cold there. It's cold there in the summer.
Well, no, I was just there, right? And it was perfect, 70 degrees, 72 degrees still. And so we went there and met with about 30 travel agents and HIS, one of the biggest travel agents in Japan. And we're all trying to put together a United was there. In fact, Mr. Nori was there as well. And we were trying to work out a relationship with United and HIS so that we can start bringing our tourists from Hokkaido to Guam. And not by getting we're going to do charters probably with United, but what we want to do is use the existing Sky relationship with ANA and United, flying them into 3 or 4 different cities, connecting and coming to Guam. I think people would pay that lower price by connecting from Nagoya, Narita, Osaka, and other areas, or even Haneda, to come to Guam and back with our people coming back, filling up the planes. So that can be a sustainable route by going that route with one stop instead of a direct nonstop.
I've had the opportunity to go up there, and the skiing is incredible. The food is awesome, and you get up there. And you're not that far away from Sapporo either, and plants of tour the Sapporo beer plant. There's a great steak restaurant there. It's kind of you cook it yourself, and Sapporo beer just deliver it just constantly to your table. And they're very, very good at confections. Lots of wildlife, lots of things to do up in that part of the country. And I can imagine, as you say, it gets to be wintertime out there, and anybody that's not a snowbird is going to want to go someplace warm, like here on Guam. I think it's an obvious and great connection.
It's a great combination. And, the first time I went to Hokkaido, right? So we went into Sapporo and stayed there, and it's like a small town atmosphere.
Yes.
You walk around, you can see everything. You don't have to look up to see anything. And so it was just from one shop to the other, pick up a little bit of this, the best fruits you see, like you said, bear, a deer, whatever wild game you want to eat, they can it, and you have it there. So it's something that the Chamorros, I think, and the Guam people would really want to go and experience. And they don't have to get intimidated by the high rise and train rides. You can just walk.
I'm trying to think. There are already a number of people that have got, I don't want to timeshares or whatever you want to call it. There might even be some people here that directly own condominium properties in the Niseko area. So that just becomes one of the things that they do when it gets to be wintertime is gather up a whole bunch of buddies, get on an airplane. Normally, you would fly into someplace like Narita and then catch the ANA jump for a couple of hours up to Niseko.
Yes, that's correct. And you can do that from Osaka, too. They're not much different. They're just like 650 miles from those airports to Chitose, and that's
Chitose,
in
yeah.
Sapporo. And so it's a great thing not only for people trying to bring tourists here, but we want to fill up the United Airlines planes also, that they can keep flying as many routes as possible to as many airports as possible. And the advent of possibilities for Haneda, which, last September 2022, we were there, and we actually spoke to the top 3 people of Haneda, and they said that they love Guam. All they're waiting for is an approval by the U.S. government, and they will automatically approve that the United switch over to Guam.
Okay, but now I reached out to United here on Guam, Sam, and said, can I get you on the air to talk about it? And apparently, there's a lot of moving parts, and maybe dealing with our federal government before they're comfortable getting into interview land and that kind of thing. But just from the outset, the conversation about being able to in our primary Japanese source market, which is Tokyo and the Tokyo area, instead of having to take the train all the way out to Narita City, instead of having to take a bus all the way out to Narita City, guys can be sitting in the izakaya on Thursday and decide to come to Guam on Friday and never have to leave the city. I mean, just train ride down to Shibuya and over to Haneda, and they're on a 3-hour flight to Guam.
That's correct. And the idea that they don't want to talk about it yet. I mean, this came out, in the Japan news on the September 26th. So it was a big deal. So we were wondering why they don't want to talk about it. It's being discussed all over Japan. So
well, every other aviation story has got to do with United and that piece of property. I will if I can find it while we're talking about it here. See if I can get the statement that actually came from the guys over at United on the subject matter. Says. Thank you for the opportunity to join your talk show and speak on United's application for Guam Haneda service. We accept the invite but defer the date until we have further clarity on the situation. As noted in our application, United has applied to fly between Guam and Haneda on days of the week United does not see Hawaiian Airlines using its Haneda route rights. It is important for us to see how Hawaiian Airlines responds to United's application and provides clarity to the situation. So we suggest waiting for that before we engage PR activity related to United's application to fly between Guam and Haneda. There's the statement that I got on the subject, and I just count down the days. Sam's always a welcome guest, as are you.
Yes, I don't think they're trying not to. They just don't want to be able to, put such a great face on it and something goes wrong. But I think it's moving forward. I know the concerns of, I visited Hawaiian Airlines just like a month and a half ago. And we were talking about the possibility, right? So it gets to other things moving and other parts moving in this whole thing. So it's good that we get those guys to, sort of compete amongst themselves. That Guam is a real good destination, and don't ignore it. Don't ignore it. Guam is really, really good, and everything that we can sell. That the beauty of Guam. I know we have a little bit of problem, but the distance itself is so great that. The Chitoshi people couldn't believe that they can get here in an hour, 3 hours and 20 minutes.
Any news on Taipei? Anybody you meet with on this long trip?
No, I didn't go to Taipei, but Gabby and Regina B are heading there in the next month, and we are still get a relationship. I even spoke with PAL, Philippine Airlines, about doing a dry lease or a wet lease with Tiger Airlines. They have 5 A321 neo that they don't have pilots for. So they said they would go ahead and reach out to Tiger Airlines and see what they can do in relationship with that group. And you don't have to worry so much about the ETOPS certification. They have it.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that I thought was interesting since you left, and I might have flashed it over in your direction as well, but I guess Nauru has got permission to be able to tie in a couple of spots from Nauru through Chuuk and Pohnpei, et cetera, into Guam and back.
Yeah, I used to think that. I love that. I'd fly to Kosrae from here or Pohnpei and then on to Nauru and wait until the president brings back the plane for me to proceed to Papua New Guinea.
Right?
But that's a great route to get to Oceania. Believe me, to get Melanesia, Papua New Guinea, on all the way down to Tonga, Fiji, it was a great combination. And now they can tie in Marshall Islands, Tarawa, and that other parts where they're pretty much feel they're underserved.
Right. Well, as usual, there are opportunities there. We tie in with our source markets and say, come to Guam and stick around here for a couple of days. Wait until the Air Nauru flight comes through. Do your tour of Oceania and then come back up to Guam before you head home.
So there's a lot of possibilities coming up our way. I think the COVID situation have little, people thinking of all different ways to get some of that traffic. And if we're lucky, and I think if you read my article, this is the closest we've gotten to getting that visa waiver. At the speech here last night or 2 nights ago in Paranaque, Congressman and his brother, the mayor of Paranaque, who is sponsored by the co-sponsor of the resolution to push the governments to give visa waiver to the Filipinos. He said that the Congress, his goal was, and he's pretty sure he's going to get it done, pass the resolution both from the House and the Senate before the end of the year and submit that to the president, and the president can use that as his imprimatur to go to the U.S. government and say, you want more land here for military? Give us this little gift.
It's a tiny ask
for the Filipinos.
Tiny ask, yeah. Well,
tiny ask. And right.
there's even more. It seems to me that there are more opportunities for travel between the United States and the Philippines. United has announced that they're going to be exploiting the San Francisco-Manila route, and although that might not have a direct connection or a link to being able to bring travelers to Guam, it could help push the conversation for that visa waiver.
That's correct. But, and when I was at TIFA a week and a half ago, I spoke to a lot of people about that opening flight and this month, I believe, from San Francisco to Manila with United Airlines. Mm-hmm. They're asking about that. I said, well, I think that's an opportunity for you to stay over a day or two because it's a 17-hour connection. And he said, we'll stay a few days or we'll stay a week and connect there. We just get the right price, right? So there's a lot of interest with that flight as well. And I hope that the United sells them on a package that they lay over 3 days as well, or a week, and make the connection to Guam and back that way. I know that Philippine Airlines has that daily flight, and they fly on the opposite end of the clock, but that's a good combination. Nighttime versus daytime.
Right. Totally see it. One last thing before I let you go. I know how busy you are. Is the BJ Cruz at the auditor's office had released while you were gone an audit of GVB's activities, and they did find a significant deficiency in the report on internal control on compliance relative to noncompliance with some $352,000 made to a provider of full-service marketing, advertising, and PR for the 78th Liberation festivities. Disclosure, we accepted funds from the Guam Visitors Bureau as part of those promotions, but I'm curious, between you and I, what the nature of all of that is and what the response is from GVB.
We tried. I wasn't here when they were going over that whole process, but those funds that came to us under ARP from the governor, it was to do the EPAL Park, which was put on hold and then scrapped. But then we got permission to be able to use those funds to enhance, the post-COVID matters here in Guam, which is part of the economy. And she okayed the use of that to do the Liberation Day and everything else with that. But I don't know how they missed that whole thing.
I don't know, because you weren't here.
It's not a big problem, believe me. All it did was they had the governor's office and BVFR just signed off on the document that said, yeah, that's what it's for.
So it approved for our use, or the ARA funds approved for that use.
I wouldn't go beyond like that. I know that people think that I can get away with that. So these people here in the GVB, they're so well following the laws, and they're not going to do anything without any proper authority. Sometimes you don't explain it yourself well, and that's probably what happened, that they didn't explain it well. But it's all kosher, absolutely kosher.
All right, Gov, appreciate your time here as usual. Welcome home. I hope we have you're going to be here long enough for a China cabinet meeting.
Yes, I've been looking forward to that. Some members of the cabinet are coming in tomorrow, I guess, from the Philippines, where they had a real big sister city relationship. A lot of the mayors are there, and that relationship, especially with Paranaque, was a pretty powerful congressman. Is really helping move the cause for Guam there, just because of that personal relationship we have.
Very, very important, and a lot more personal relationship and opportunities with Philippine Airlines. They've moved the office from one part of the mall to another part of the mall, and there was a big get-together among some of the higher-ups in the Philippine Airlines coming out here for that move, and actually had some of them on the air with me for a little bit.
Yes, and Gigi Tan really pushed the high-tech thing about running an office now. That was really good about you just go shopping and they'll call you when your thing's ready, and just come back in, go see a movie. That's a really good thing. They use the electronic system well.
Well, if you know the family, we're all techies. That's our favorite thing. Governor Carl T.C. Guiterrez on the line. As usual, welcome back. As always, the appropriate greeting. Hug and a kiss for Auntie Jerry. I'm glad that she was able to do a couple of jumps with you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, everybody.
All right, we'll see you soon.